And just check that you on our Journeys of Awakening WhatsApp group, and if you're not, you can go to our website, which is journeysofawakening.com, and just connect on our WhatsApp group, because we do put out inspirational information there, but also our notifications and updates. So if you can do that. See you personally or perfectly. Okay. Thank you, Paula. Thank you. All right, let's start this evening by settling into a meditation. And for those of you who don't know what the word means, it just simply means to drop the mind. That's all it means. And it's right on in alignment with tonight's topic of releasing. So what we're going to do for the next few minutes is we're going to release the mind. We're going to release the mind. It's a wonderful tool. It really serves us very well most of the time. But we can put it away for a little bit and just be. Just be. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to gently close our eyes, and we're going to settle into the most sacred place in all of creation, which is the present moment, here and now. And we can't know the present moment from the mind. We can know about the present moment from the mind, but we can't directly experience the present moment through the thinking process. It has to be done through the experiential process, which is a direct perception of the isness. So let's just take a very deep breath in and release the breath. Just let it go back into life. Take a second very deep breath in, but drawing the air right the way down the body now to the diaphragm. And then when you're full, just release it slowly, slowly, and relax your shoulders and your neck muscles and your forehead. Just let any stress in the body go. Just release it for a moment. You can pick up your challenges and your problems later, but right now, just drop everything and be here now. Take a third very deep breath in, right down to the toes this time and up to the top of the head, and then let it go. Just release it, let it go, let it go. And as you breathe out, every time you breathe out, just sink down deeper into the body. Use every out-breath as a portal back into presence. And your body itself is a portal into presence, because the body is always here in the present moment. It doesn't have the ability to time travel, but the mind does. So just every out-breath, use that as a vehicle to come back into the body and into alignment with life. Life is here and now. It's occupying the body. It's breathing us. It's beating our hearts. It's allowing us to listen, oxygenating every cell in the body. Beautiful intelligence called life, and life is only ever here and now. And by focusing our attention on the out-breath, we find that there is a clearing in the mind. And we withdraw our attention from all other times and all other places, and just be here now. This is a really important place to be, the present moment, because it is the only place that we can directly perceive love. And love is the answer to all of the problems and the challenges in this world. Love is a sense of connection, a sense of oneness, a sense of community, of kindness and caring. And that can only be experienced in the present moment. We might have memories that evoke a feeling within us, but love itself can only be experienced directly in the present moment. And so we're releasing all the blocks, all the blockages that we have constructed in our mind to love. And as we do it individually, we help the world collectively reach a place of healing. Healing is to be whole again, and the only time we're truly whole is in the present moment. Let's take another very deep breath in. And as we breathe out, just once more drop deeper into the physical body and down into the present moment. And for a moment allow your heart to open, to completely open to the isness of just this moment here and now. Let go of yesterday, tomorrow, and just be here now in the sacred space of presence. As we inhabit with our attention presence, as we become more aligned with the true isness of who and what we are, so we provide an opening, an invitation for those around us to heal. We provide an invitation for the world to come back to love. And that is our real work, to open rather than to close, to accept rather than to reject. And to appreciate the beauty of just this moment, here and now. To make this our destination, not as a stepping stone to get somewhere else, but as a sacred destination. Just feel inside your heart an opening into a sacred emptiness, which is unconditioned consciousness that's aware of what you can hear, aware of what you can feel, aware of the peace, the stillness and the silence that underlies all movement, all sound, all emotion. Take another beautiful deep breath in, a long breath out, and when you're ready you may gently, softly open your eyes and just see how you feel in this moment. Feel a bit more centered, a bit more present. Welcome to those that joined when my eyes were closed. Welcome to the Satsang.
Thank you, that was lovely.
Thank you.
Welcome everyone, good to have you all with us. It's a beautiful Sunday night. Lovely and calm and peaceful.
Yeah, it is where we are.
To end off the week and start a new week.
Yeah.
Just to take some time to be.
Why are we talking about releasing tonight?
Well, we have a waning moon. You know what waning moon means? Waning moon is when it's going down to new moon. So new moon is on Tuesday for some people. What's it? Second and third. For South Africa, it's the third in the early hours of the morning. So we're right at the end of a lunar cycle, and then in 2 weeks' time there'll be a full moon. So just before new moon is always a time to release and let go. It's waning, so that we can plant new seeds at the new moon. So it's quite strong, and it's also a very strong theme in terms of the energy of the new moon. So we have the moon in Virgo, the sun and the moon, and Virgo is a practical earth sign. So it really encourages us to clear out, to clean, to release not only physical stuff, so release that which isn't serving you in your body. It would be a very good idea to do a little bit of a clean out tomorrow, a detox, drink more water, maybe eat more fruit.
Well, it's springtime
Just
here in
to-
the
it's a
southern
really
hemisphere.
good time,
So
yeah,
it's time to do a spring clean. Yeah.
Yeah, so spring clean our bodies, spring clean our minds, spring clean our homes. If there's clutter lying around, see if you can just clear. It's like weeding the garden.
I
You're
was doing
making
that
room.
earlier.
You were indeed. You're
And-
making room for the new.
Yeah, but I was planting some flowers as well, which is not such a good time right now.
should have
Should have
waited
waited
a
a few days, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was doing weeding. I was doing clearing. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a sort of a little bit of a trigger warning in the next couple of days, just to be very mindful of your thoughts and your reactions, because there's some kind of blustery energy around as well. So I would say it's sort of a nervous energy for many people, and so just recognize it and release what you need to release. Go quiet. Just coming inside. What we do have this new moon is, the new moon is opposite Saturn, and Saturn always calls on us to be responsible. So if you look at Virgo, Virgo is very connected with the mind and with our thoughts, and Saturn is kind of saying, well, be responsible for your reactions, be responsible for your thoughts. What are you thinking? What are you saying? How are you saying it to yourself or others? So I think that's a theme that we're going to see over the next few days, not just on new moon. Yeah.
So you mentioned the word trigger there. What would cause that?
It's a trigger warning because it's a little bit more astrology, but the ruler of Virgo is Mercury. Mercury is the planet of the mind, of communication, how we listen, how we absorb information, how we communicate. And that's in a very strong square to the planet Uranus, or Uranus. So Uranus is a kind of an edgy planet. It wants the new, it wants to clear the old, it wants to bring about the new. And so very often it can, the combination of the two can be a little bit sparky, sort of high energy, a high sort of nervous energy, and that can make its way into our communications.
Okay.
So,
and inside all challenges is always a gift. So just look at your own lives. If there is any sparkiness there, what might the gift be there for you?
What's it showing you?
Yeah.
Because Uranus wants to show us the truth. So it's a little bit like a lightning flash that comes and goes. Ka-ch! So it's doing that to our thoughts and saying, see, look at that. That's interesting. This thoughts come out. And then there's also another alignment with Saturn. So there's quite a few of these alignments that are saying, we're showing you, you're being shown your thought patterns, you're being shown your conditioning, that those old patterns of thought that seem to repeat themselves in loops, that seem to go round and round and round, that's what we're able to actually start to see at the moment. We also are finishing off a number of very big cycles astrologically. Not quite right now, but just about. So all three of the major outer planets are at the very final degrees of their signs, which is very much a clearing of not just this new moon, but old clearing, old patterns of release. So I think that's what's coming up for a lot of people. It's coming up in terms of symptoms, body symptoms. So the time that the sun spends in Virgo is a very good time to look at what is your body saying to you. What is it? What's happening with it? If there's a physical symptom, what might that be representing that you can release? What might that be bringing up for you that you might be ready to let go of? It could be connected to an old cycle. So same for mental dis-ease and physical dis-ease.
Yeah.
Emotional dis-ease.
Yeah. And releasing is generally very easy. It's the easiest thing to do. Holding on to something, it takes a lot of effort. Letting go is the opposite of effort. It's actually just letting go. So it's very easy to let go.
Why do we think we don't?
Unless you are attached to it. So if it's just something you're holding, it's easy to let go. But when it's me that I'm holding on to, that becomes very, very difficult to let go. And you mentioned about the cycle. So we're coming to the end of some major cycles at the moment.
Yeah.
And when you reach the end of something, one has to release all that no longer serves you. So when you start a project or start a certain adventure, there are certain things that you need to have, and you need to hold on to them for a while. But when you reach the end of a cycle, when you reach your destination, you have to drop all that has served you pretty well along the way, but it doesn't necessarily serve you now, so that you step into the next phase of your life. And the analogy we quite often use, which has been used by so many people over the years, is that one of the caterpillar turning into the butterfly. So the caterpillar has to drop all of the oldness. It has to drop all its legs, it has to drop its feelers, it even has to drop its body. And that takes quite a lot of trust in the process of life, which the caterpillar does have and the butterfly does have, but humans generally don't have. They trust their mind, and they're attached to the mind for their identity. Now the mind is the one thing that blocks us from the smooth transition of releasing, because the mind has an identity based on what I do, what I have, what other people say to me. It has a sense of identity attached to its beliefs, its accomplishments in the world. Everything that has a me, mine, or mine attached to it is a sense of self. And so if we are, as we are going through this process now of transforming from the caterpillar to the butterfly, it means that we do have to let go of that old sense of self. And that means that we have to be prepared to let go of everything that we have. And that is quite a good indicator of where we are stuck. Because whatever we battle to release, be it a thought, be it an idea, be it an emotion, be it a physical thing, be it a career or a relationship, whatever we battle to see that we can let go of it, there is the glue that's holding us stuck to the old caterpillar world, or the old matrix, in terms of what we talk about a lot, the matrix. So it's a good time now to see where your stuckness is, where there's resistance to the releasing, because that is a false sense of identity. And that will be at the root of many of your anxieties and fears. Because the very word fear, we use the acronym false evidence appearing real. And that false evidence is an identity attached to something that you're not. Something or some achievement that you're not is holding you stuck in the old world. And this is rather like, say, it's easier for, what was it, the camel has to
go through the eye of the needle.
Eye of a needle, yeah, that's right. That wasn't the correct translation. But
you have to drop his
you have to drop everything. You can't take
go
anything with you on this journey. The caterpillar cannot take anything into the world of the butterfly. Now, I'm not saying that you have to get rid of all your stuff. Not at all. You can keep your stuff. But just release the sense of identity to it. Me, mine, and mine. Let go of that. Talk about the car, the house, the career, the achievement, or whatever it is. The victimhood, for example, the victimhood. Not me, but the. It's just something outside of who you are. You, as we learned in the meditation, or as we experienced in the meditation this evening, you are the awareness of the car, of the house, of the achievement. You are that awareness. You're the awareness of the body. You're not the body, you're the awareness of the body. And that is a releasing, so that we are in this profound virgin state to enter into the awakened area, or the awakened level of consciousness, which is now being born.
Yeah, and it's just seeing that you're letting go of the attachment to whatever it is. So you are letting go of the attachment to the thoughts that you have about a certain thing, about the way a certain thing should be, about the way life should be, about the way a certain person should be, about the way you should be. You're letting go of the attachment to the thoughts, attachment to the labels of what you've labeled yourself, the attachment to the labels of even an illness, dis-ease, because as soon as we are attached to it, it's very difficult to let go of it, because now that's part of my identity. You see that very often with people who've been through very bad illnesses, and they say, I'm an XYZ survivor. But yes, that's true, but there's still an attachment there that's pulling them back into that illness, into that disease. So just to be aware of, what are you still attached to? I've survived this, that, and the next thing. What have you not let go of? What resentments to people that have passed have you not let go of? What resentments to yourself have you not let go of? Can you just bring it into your awareness and then release it? And as John said, it's actually a very simple thing, because it's like if we had to put a hot coal in your hand, you probably wouldn't hold it for very long, because it would be burning your hand. You'd drop it. But these things that we hold on to are not as obvious. And so we're not even aware that we are holding on to them. And so these times that we're in call for us to become more and more aware of what it is we're still holding on to. As John said, where's our stuckness? Oh, this is still an issue because I've just been triggered. Oh, interesting. And you stop, and you breathe, and you lean back, and you watch it, and you see it. So that is the awakening, that is the awareness that you are not your thoughts. You have thoughts, but they're not who you are. And most of us, many of us, are slaves to our minds, to our thoughts. We believe them. We trust them even when they're having an argument with each other, like roommates in your head. They're having an argument, but you're trusting both of them to be true, and they're not true. It's craziness to trust that. So then that brings me to the other word, which is trust, because you mentioned it just now. A lot of people have said to me in the last while, I don't trust life anymore. I've given up on trusting. So I just wanted to bring that into the equation as well, because what are you trusting?
Yeah, again, what you were saying earlier is giving up expectations. And that's the big one, because we expect life to do X, Y, Z, and then life doesn't.
Not.
Or we expect our partner to do X, Y, Z, and they don't. Or we expect the government to do X, Y, Z, and they don't. And those expectations are the attachment to the time-based reality. Now, the caterpillar is part of that time-based reality. But now it is transcending, and in our world we are transcending the time-based me to the eternal me. So we're going from the third, fourth dimension into the fifth dimension. And for those of you who know the model of the matrix, the third and fourth dimension on the horizontal plane of time, going from past to future, and the fifth dimension we access through the power of presence, which is the vertical plane. And so at this time of transformation, it's to let go of everything that keeps us bound in time. So just think of your possessions, think of your attachments to the sense of self. How much of yourself is based in time? In other words, how much of yourself had a beginning, has a middle, and what scares the mind is it knows that anything has a beginning, it has an end as well, and then we do everything we can avoid to avoid that ending. But we don't have to be too concerned about that, because in the present moment we reach what's called eternity, where there is no beginning and there is no end. So there's no birth and there's no death in the vertical plane, because that's unconditioned consciousness. Unconditioned consciousness, your awareness of who you are right now in this moment, listening to this, is eternity. It was never born and it will never die. It's eternal. It's pure energy, pure unconditioned energy. And that recognition of that sense of self, the eternal sense of self, or otherwise called being, is the release from fear. Fear, that acronym of false evidence appearing real. I am what I do, I am what I have, I am what other people think of me. I am my stories that I tell myself. That always leads to the vulnerability of that coming and that going, because it all does. But when we come into the vertical plane, it's a place of freedom, it's a place of liberation. But in order to come into this place of liberation, the vertical plane, we have to go through a doorway. And above that doorway, it has the word release, or the word surrender. Surrender everything. Let go. Release. That is the portal into the new state of consciousness, which is currently being born on a massive scale on this planet. But this is the planet of free will. We have to volunteer to give up our old time-based sense of self so that we can be born again new into this new state of awareness. And this state of awareness is what we spoke about in the meditation. It's a state where we let go of attachments, we let go of judgments, we let go of the sense of division, of separation, and we align with the true essence of being, which is what's called non-dual. Not dualistic, it's non-dual. It's whole. That's the word healing. You're whole in this new alignment with life, alignment with presence, alignment with the divine. That is the healing that now needs to take place. And this is the end of cycles, as Michelle was saying. And the ending, you might find a lot of old patterns coming up to the surface, a lot of old insecurities coming up to the whole surface, old thought patterns from the past coming up to the surface. And they're all coming here, not to punish us. Not at all. They're coming here into the light of awareness for healing, to be made whole again, to be dissolved back into presence, back into love, back into alignment with life.
Yeah, it's a very old, the one very old cycle that's happening right now is Pluto, which I often talk about. Pluto is the planet of transformation, which is very connected with that metaphor of the butterfly and the caterpillar. And he's going back into Capricorn for his last visit forever for us on our planet. So he'll be there until the 20th of November, and then he's going forward into a brand new sign, to a brand new energy. So that process of him going back into Capricorn is the old conditioning. It's the deconstructing of the old. That's literally what's happening in the next couple of months. It's the deconstructing. We're seeing it on our planet, we're seeing it in our lives, and a lot of people feel very fearful of that because there's an unknowing. There's what's going to happen. Who am I? I've had a couple of people this last week say to me, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what's important anymore. I don't know what's going to happen anymore. And so it's scary for the ego. It's not scary for the true you. But for the ego self, for the judgmental mind, it's a little bit scary not to know. Because we feel a lot more secure when we actually have a plan, except that plans don't often turn out the way you think they should. So then you stop trusting life. So it's a bit of a cycle. So to just see it as releasing the attachment to the things that have actually given you the illusion of security and safety, and absolute security and safety of who you think you are,
Identity.
who you think you are, your identity of who you think you are.
Yeah.
That it's letting go of that. And sometimes if something is happening in your life where there's a space, or where there's a lull, or where things aren't really happening much, then perhaps that's exactly what needs to happen. And so it's for us to see whatever situation we're in, could there be a gift in this? Is there in some way a reason why, for example, I don't have a partner or work or whatever it is, whatever situation I am, even the dire ones? Can you see the gift in it? Is there something here for me in terms of my evolution, my soul's evolution, that is showing me something that I would not have otherwise seen?
And the truth is, yes, the answer to that is yes, there is a gift for you. And when you know it's here, you will find it, you will look for it. If you lose something and you don't know which room in the house you've lost it, you'll be wandering around all over the place. But if you know it's in this particular place, it'll be far quicker for you to find it because you know it's there. And so there is a gift in every adversity. Absolutely there is. All we have to do is open our awareness to see it because it is there. And I want to go back, we were talking earlier about trust, and you said a lot of clients having a problem with the trust and trusting life. And what people are generally meaning when they say trust life, they mean the story of life, the absolute story. They want the story to be predictable and dependable. And that isn't life. Life is not a story. Life is an experience. Life is always here and always now. And I'm going to use another analogy here which will maybe highlight it for you or illuminate it for you. So if you go into a cinema and you're watching a film, and it's a well-made film, it really grips your attention and you're really caught up in the action on the screen in front of you. In fact, you actually forget it's a screen, and you really see a whole dimension, a three-dimensional world of emotions and people and situations and circumstances taking place. And if it's been extremely well acted and produced and scripted well, you will totally believe, you'll lose yourself in the film. You won't even realize that you're sitting on a cinema chair watching the film. You are actually at one with the drama happening in you. And that's beautiful, and we go to movies because we want to be entertained and we want to have experience. That's what we do. But this process that we're going through now is to step out of that two-dimensional, although it appears three-dimensional, two-dimensional way of seeing the world. So what we can do is just withdraw our mind from all other times and all other places and all attachments to what is happening on the screen, and realize that there's a screen. Now the screen itself, that white screen, doesn't contain any drama. It doesn't contain any horror. It doesn't contain anything. It's just a screen. What is being projected onto the screen is where we see the drama, the love movie, the war movie, the horror, whatever. We're seeing it projected onto the screen. But what I'm suggesting right now is we just focus our awareness to see through the movement and to see that which is still, which we did in the opening meditation. To see that which is not moving in this moment. Yes, there's a lot of moving light and shadows on the screen, but there's something that's not moving. Where we're looking right now, there's a stillness. And that stillness is something more stable, more permanent than the moving shadows, moving pictures on the screen. And as we start to focus on that screen, so the movie releases its capture of our mind. We start to release the attachment to the story being this way or that way. And we start to find that which is transcendental of the matrix, of the movie, of the story, of time. We start to find that, we start to see it right here, right now. We start to see eternity. Or as a teacher 2,000 years ago spoke about it, and he said heaven. We start to see that which isn't caught up in drama, which is at peace here and now in this moment. So that's the first sort of step, is to realize that what we're looking at has to appear somewhere. It appears on a screen. Now that screen is the screen of awareness. And awareness doesn't move. It hasn't got contrast in it. It's just awareness. That's all it is. It's aware. That's all it is. And then the next stage, you're sitting in the cinema. Now you become aware of the screen, and your eyes are not being mesmerized now by the movement, and your ears aren't being hypnotized by the sound. You're just aware of that screen. Now the next thing to realize is that there is a light in that room, and the light is behind you, the light of the projector. And in front of that light of projector is a film, and that film is causing the movie to appear so real on the screen in front of you. And what is that film? But it's a blockage to the light. That's really what it is. It blocks the light. And it's moving in front of the light. The light isn't moving, and the screen is not moving, but the movie is moving. And what is that blocks the light? Well, what is the light, first of all? I'm going to say it's the I Am Presence, or the light of your unconditioned consciousness. And in front of that that unconditioned light of awareness, the film of the mind with its judgments, with its programming, with its preferences, with its attachment to story, with its attachment to identity. That's the movie. And as we sit in our chair in the cinema, we start to realize, hang on a minute, the light isn't moving. The screen is not moving. I'm not even moving. I'm just sitting here in the moment. Suddenly you awaken from the dream of the movie. And as you awaken from that dream, a whole new resolution to consciousness happens. And you see through that which you used to perceive of as so important. And you see it's not that important anymore. It's just moving figures on the screen. It appears so real. I know it does. But it was meant to be. It was meant to be so mesmerizing. We created it, and we are powerful creators. So we created this three-dimensional movie that is so real for us. We made it all up. But now is the time of an endings. So this whole drama that we've been so attached to for a sense of self, and we've been actually looking for ourselves in the movie. We were never in the movie. We were always in the awareness of the movie. And this is the endings that we're going through now. And the triggers that Michelle spoke about earlier are triggers that help us delaminate our sense of self from that movie. In other words, we can't even find ourselves in the movie anymore. You were saying earlier, people don't know what their purpose is. They don't know who they are anymore. And that's the beautiful part. That's the gift. Because that old world of identification, of attachment, is having its strength or its solidity challenged, and the illusion is coming down. And this word that we're going through now, apocalypse, just means for the veil to come down, the veil of ignorance, and for us to see through the illusion and find that which is way more real than the story we've been involved with for a long, long time.
Yeah, I was just remembering that in that caterpillar analogy, the metamorphosis cycle, there is nothing left visibly of the form of the caterpillar. But the form of the caterpillar has dissolved, but the essence of the caterpillar has not, in terms of the essence of life. And from those, in the caterpillar's world, from that caterpillar gunk, if you call it that, there are imaginal cells. So something new is formed from the no-thingness, from the nothingness, that actually forms a new life. So that's why I said if you're in a lull right now, if things aren't working the way you think they should, and you don't know, if you can just release, just moment by moment, release your need to know. And you can just say that, I release my need to know. It's very liberating. Because it's usually the desire to know what's going to happen. Is this going to work out? When's it going to work out? How's it going to work out? And when you release, just in this moment, I release my need to know. I don't know, so I release my need to know. And I detach from that. And then you're actually in a situation where the new can emerge from that no-thingness. So that's this clearing that we're talking about. That's the releasing. That's the clearing away of everything that isn't you, so that you can actually imagine a new earth, a new you, a new way of being in the world that isn't attached to the form, that still has a form but isn't attached to it, that can fly.
Yeah, because the mind, which does a lot of our imagining for us, can only imagine from what it knows about itself. So if it is the caterpillar that's imagining, it can only imagine a better caterpillar at all. It can't imagine the butterfly because it has no concept of the butterfly. So if we are using the human mind, that which is programmed by past and by education, by expectation, then we're just going to continue recreating the old. And the universe doesn't want that anymore. It says this is the ending of cycles now. And the only place that we can imagine something new, something that hasn't existed before, is in the narrow gap between our thoughts. The very narrow space of emptiness between our thoughts. And in order to get into that space, we have to release. We have to release all ideas of who and what we are. We have to release even our beliefs about right and wrong. We have to release all of those. And the beliefs are one of the hardest things to let go of. We have such a preference to seeing the world and seeing the world right or the world wrong, or I'm right and you're wrong, or I'm wrong and you're right, or whatever, that those beliefs have to be released for us to get into this virgin state of emptiness in order for us to access the power of presence, and from there we then can imagine the new world into existence. It's a very sacred time, a very special time.
And it's moment by moment. I just wrote down the judgment, that it's releasing judgment in every moment. You don't have to do it all in one go, just as you notice it. I'm just gone into judgment. Okay, I'm bringing myself back into the now, and I'm releasing it now. Not tomorrow. I'm going to sit and stew in judgment for the rest of the day. I'm just going to drop it right now. This judgment that I have towards this person, this thing, this situation, myself. I'm just in this moment. I'm just going to breathe and release it. And you can do that with the breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Let it go. Just in this moment. Might come back again. There's another judgment. Letting it go again. There's another concern, another anxiety. I'm letting it go in this moment. That doesn't mean that you don't deal with the things that you have to deal with, but you don't sit and cogitate about them when you can't do anything about them. That's a choice. Because then that's influencing your present moment awareness and your experience of life. So I think the word for me for this week really is release. Just in any moment, can you release? Can you release the tension in your body? Can you release the thoughts from your mind just in this moment? Can you release the judgment? Can you release the attachment to a plan, a certainty? Can you release the need to know? And that you as you do that, you start to release yourself from the chains that are actually holding us captive. And we do that to ourselves. Nobody else does it. We're responsible for those chains. No one else. We can't blame anybody else for putting those chains around us.
Yeah.
So we're the ones that we can liberate ourselves from it, because we put them there.
Yeah. And in that Hopi poem that I read a little while ago, it says in that Hopi prophecy, do not look outside of yourself for leaders. So don't wait for someone else to cut away your chains. Don't look for some enlightened being to come and save you, or some politician, heaven forbid. You are the ones you're waiting for, that prophecy says. You are the one. It's up to us to liberate ourselves, and the liberation comes from the liberation of mind. And how do we do that? By letting go of all misperceptions of identity. And that is the release. The release comes from the letting go of the false sense of self, which we call the ego. The letting go of the mind. You don't have to get rid of it. You just let go of the sense of self, the attachment. That's all you're doing, is you're dissolving the attachment to that movie, those moving shadows on the screen. You're letting go to the preference of that screen, of what's happening on that screen. You're stepping back into the awareness of presence. That is our liberation. It comes from releasing. And as I said earlier, it's the easiest thing to do for you. It's so easy to release. It's like holding a cork underwater. You let it go. It's not hard for the cork to go back to the surface. It's hard to hold. It takes efforting to hold the cork underwater. But the moment you release it, it goes back to its natural buoyancy. The moment we release, we go back to our natural buoyancy. But having said it is easy, and it is easy, it is very easy, if not impossible, for your ego. Your ego cannot let go of ego. Your mind cannot let go of mind. So don't ask your mind to release you from its chains. Don't ask the ego to take off the false sense of self. You have to do it. The you that's underneath your thought. You are that space between your thoughts. You're the space between yesterday and tomorrow. You are the space of presence. That's awareness. That's liberation. That's freedom. And in that space we dream a new world into existence.
Yes, you do. Okay.
You drawn an affirmation card, a blue one. Oh, how about that? It's a perfect card. It came out of this pack here. Just Pulled out. You just randomly
Just
pulled
there.
that out. It's a perfect card for tonight. It's a powerful affirmation for this new moon. Very powerful affirmation. So Michelle's going to lead us out with one of her beautiful visualizations. And at the end of it, you're going to reveal that card. It's a blue card. Blue is what? Emotion and communication. So that's lovely.
Just to let you know as well, on our Inner Space community for September, we are working with healing on all levels. And the release is part of that. So if you haven't joined and you would like to join for the month, you're welcome to do so. You just go to journeysofawakening.com and you can register for Inner Space for the month. So we're going to be working with tools and meditations to actually heal on all levels: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, the whole lot. So that's our very interesting, wonderful focus for the month.
Yeah, so do join us on Inner Space. You can join just for the month. You can join for the year. If you join for a whole year, you get 2 months free. How about that? But you can just sign up just for the month. And this month is very important because that is the reason we came to this planet. We came here, I mean, everyone's looking for their life purpose, but your main life purpose is to heal. And what does that mean? To make whole, to come back to love. That is our journey. And we're going to be looking at this month on our Inner Space community. Okay. Right, you're going to lead us out. Okay,
all right.
Thank you.
So let's just settle in, make yourself comfy, rest your hands gently wherever they are. Take a lovely big deep breath in. And then a beautiful long out breath. Take another slow, long, deep breath in. And then a long, slow, 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 slow out breath. Let it all out. And then a third breath in. And then just release it all on the out breath. And as you release, drop your shoulders, soften your body. And just connect with your breath naturally now. Just allow it to flow in and out of you without any forcing or changing it. Just becoming aware of your breath and the temperature of the breath on the nostrils as it comes in and as it leaves. This incredible thing called the breath, this gift. And just acknowledge the trust that you have for the next breath. Just trust that there will be another breath after this breath. And as you breathe in, just give thanks for your sense of smell as you breathe this breath in. Giving thanks for the gift of taste. It allows us to really enjoy our experience as humans. The gift of sight. Just connecting with your eyes to see what you can see behind your eyes right now. Gift of hearing. It's an amazing gift that we have, that we can listen to the sounds of nature, to everything else that we can hear, music, speaking. Just this gift of hearing. And the gift of feeling. As we focus on feeling, just feeling through your body, as if you have a little scanner coming in through the top of your head and scanning way down, all the way down through your body. And just identifying any areas that may be tight or painful or unhealthy. Any areas that you know of that might need healing. Just placing your gentle awareness on those areas. Just briefly visiting those areas with your awareness. And choose one area where you know you'd like to focus your attention. Just focus your attention in on that area. Full attention, full focus. And then very gently release, release, release. So consciously soften the body in that area. Consciously soften any attachment, any tightness. And just allow it to flow out through you and away. And now connecting with a situation that you have possibly in your life which is possibly worrisome or fearful, or anxious, got some anxiety about, something which isn't working the way you think it should, a concern of some kind. Just bring your awareness to it without getting attached to it, but just bring it into your awareness. See if you can bring yourself into quietude enough to feel where you feel that emotion in your body. Again, you're just aware of it, you're noticing it from the witness, you're not jumping into it. You're just noticing it. Ah, yes, there's a tightness there. Or, there's a little bit of a heaviness there. Breathing into it. And then a long, slow out breath, releasing, releasing, releasing any attachment to it. Allowing yourself to open to divine light moving through you and washing anything that you don't need to hold on to away. Clearing away any thoughts that you don't need right now. Same thing, breathing in and breathing out and releasing, 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 releasing. Consciously feel your body releasing and softening. Just see if you can feel any difference when you open and release. Releasing the need to know what the future holds, just in this moment. Releasing any attachments that you may have to the roles that you've played. Any attachment that you have to specific goals. You're not releasing the goals, you're releasing the attachment that you might have to them. Breathing and letting it go, just for now. Releasing any expectations that you have about anything or anyone. Releasing any resentments from the past to anyone or anything, including yourself. Forgiving the past and letting it go. And feeling the opening that opens up inside you, the space. When you let go of some of the clutter. Literally freeing up your energy channels as you do this, so that the energy can flow through you. Our affirmation, which I'll repeat now, is I let go of all emotional resistance and allow life to flow as it is. I'll just say that once more. Deep breath in. I let go of all emotional resistance and allow life to flow as it is. So as we end off this evening and as you prepare for the week, just bring these words back to yourself again and again. As something comes up for you, just release it in that moment and liberate yourself. I let go of all emotional resistance and allow life to flow as it is. I'm now just bringing your attention to your heart center, allowing your heart to expand with gratitude for this evening, for these beautiful souls on this group with us. And if you're listening or watching tomorrow, or whenever you do, to anybody who has been part of this tonight. Taking a deep breath in and out. And you can rub your hands together and open your eyes whenever you're ready. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Paula, for your comment there. I release my need to know. I love that.
Yeah.
This is a case of trusting life. And life is not a story, but presence. Trust the present moment. Love you all, and we look forward to catching up with you in the next satsang or those coming on in the space on Tuesday night. Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care. Take care.
Lots of love.
I'll post a copy of this affirmation on the Facebook page, and it'll go up onto YouTube as well tomorrow. Nighty night.